He was never her first choice, not when they met. Not when they grew close. Not even when she said she might love him. And maybe the most painful truth was that he was never meant to be her only choice. Arman met Zara on a rainy afternoon in a quiet coffee shop, where the world outside seemed restless. But she sat by the window, calm and distant, as if time had slowed down just for her. He only asked if the seat was free, and she smiled softly and said, yes. And that was how everything began, not with sparks or dramatic moments, but with something simple, something real. Their connection grew slowly through long conversations, late-night calls, shared silences, and quiet understanding. She told him often that he was different, and he held on to those words like they meant something more, like maybe one day he would become important enough to be chosen. But there was always someone else in the story, a name that never really left her life. Rehan, the one she loved before, or maybe still loved, the one who never fully stayed. But never completely disappeared either. Arman knew about him from the start, but he convinced himself that the past was the past. Until one night she called him with a trembling voice and told him that Rehan had come back, that he missed her, and just like that, everything inside Arman shifted. He wanted to tell her not to go back to him. He wanted to tell her to choose him instead, but all he said was, do what makes you happy. And in that moment, he unknowingly accepted his place in her life as the second option, as the one who would always be there when the first choice failed. Dust turned into weeks and weeks into months, and nothing felt stable anymore. Sometimes she would be close to him, like nothing else mattered, and sometimes she would drift away, leaving him confused and waiting. He kept telling himself that if he stayed patient, if he cared more, if he proved himself enough, she would eventually see his worth. But deep down, he started realizing that he was only needed when she felt lonely, only remembered when someone else made her feel invisible. He was not her priority. He was her comfort zone, her backup plan. One day, she said. She was confused, and he told her it was okay, even though it was breaking him from the inside, because loving someone who is unsure about you slowly destroys your sense of self. You begin to question your worth, your place, your importance, and yet you stay hoping things will change, but they rarely do. And one night, everything became clear. She told him she was going to meet Rehan. On again, and when he asked if she still cared about him, she said yes. But it was not love. It was just care. And that single word shattered every illusion he had built in his mind. Because care is not enough. When you are giving someone your whole heart that night. He sat alone thinking about every moment, every message, every time he chose her over himself. And for the first time, he asked himself what he was doing, why he was settling for less than he deserved, and why he was waiting to be chosen by someone who never truly saw him as the one. And in that silence, he realized something powerful, that he had been abandoning himself just to stay in someone else's life. And that realization changed everything. The next day, he opened their chat, stared at the screen for a long time, and typed a simple message. I think we need some space. His hands trembled as he pressed send, because walking away from someone you love is never easy. But staying where you are not valued is even harder, she replied, asking what happened, asking if he was okay. But for the first time, he did not rush to comfort her. He did not explain himself. He just said, I need to choose myself now. And that was the moment everything shifted. It was not loud. It was not dramatic, but it was real. He started pulling back, focusing on his own life, rebuilding himself piece by piece. He stopped waiting for her. Messages. stopped checking his phone every minute, stopped making her the center of his world, and slowly he began to feel something he had not felt in a long time. Peace. It was not immediate, and it was not perfect. There were nights he missed her. There were moments he almost texted her again, but he reminded himself why he left. He reminded himself that love should not feel like begging for attention. It should not feel like being an option. It should feel like being chosen. Every single day, weeks later, she came back. Not because she suddenly realized his worth, but because things did not work out with Rehan. And for the first time, Arman saw it clearly. She did not come back for him. She came back because she needed someone, and before he would have accepted her without hesitation. But now something inside him had changed. When she said she missed him, he did not feel the same warmth when she said she needed him. He did not feel the same urgency. Instead, he felt calm. He felt distant. He felt free. He listened to her quietly, and then he said something he never thought he would say. "I hope you find what you are looking for, but it is not me anymore." There was silence on the other end, as if she did not expect that answer, as if she thought he would always be there waiting. And maybe that was the version of him she knew. The one who stayed. The one who accepted less. The one who loved without boundaries. But that version of him no longer existed, because he finally understood that being someone's backup plan is not love. It is self-betrayal, and choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. He ended the call. Not with anger, not with regret, but with clarity, and as he put his phone down, he realized something. He did not lose her. He found himself, and for the first time in a long time, that felt like enough.